One shot qualifying is on, folks. That means there's only one chance for these drivers to get the absolute best lap time then. Caught me unaware, I completely forgot it was one shot qualifying. But anyways, let's go on board with Mazzles then as he makes his way down into turn 1. Let's see what it takes to flick at the 50-metre board, clip the inside, run a little bit wide through exit turn 1, flat out through turn number 2, going into turn number 3, then hook the inside line. Be very careful on traction coming uphill as well. It's very easy to lose the rear end of the car, but Mazzles there cautiously taking it through turn number 4 as we head downhill into turn number 5. Very easy to lock up the front end, and let's see how he takes it very smoothly as well, coming out using all the track, lead on the curb, coming out of turn number 5, going into turn number 6 then, and we head into turn 7, fast in, slow out. Let's see how he takes this uphill section. Can be very difficult to get on the power. Rear end will be stepping out quite a lot as well. As you can see, there's an Alfa Romeo 1-2, so it looks like somebody's been practicing. Harry Palmer as we come now through turn 11. Then let's see how he takes this one, going all the way to the left to get a good entry through the right, and coming to this left-hander here, flat out through here, going into turn number 13. Then will be quite difficult, especially with the traction as well. Now coming through turn number 14. And you can see the rear end of the car stepping out just like there on Mazzles then as we make our way downhill, right flat out right-hander. Let's see then what his time is as he makes his way towards the line. Harry Palmer could be taking pole position, and it's replaced by Veloci Ayoub, who takes it away by a tenth then. So I thought Harry Palmer had it there, but Veloci just snuck away then with pole position. And look at that, barely separated by a few hundreds is Harry Palmer and Ross then. Harry Palmer, good qualifying session for him. It's one shot qualifying. But that's a good position to start then for the sprint race. So let's see how he manages it, because I remember him in the last few races of this season. Hasn't gone really well for him so far, but this could be a good result for him if he keeps it like this then. Looks like he's been practicing and it's paid off because he's got himself into P2 there. And Veloci Ayoub takes pole position then with Ross in P3, Kurgo in P4 with the little one in P5. Last week's race winner at the Baku Grand Prix was the little one. Mazzles in P6 there ahead of Jay Hart now. Gautier Lafell P9. MKP in P9 ahead of Dragon on Speed, who makes it into the top 10 for Aston Martin. Ferguson P11, Mighty Baguette P12, Polish Man in P13 ahead of Deluxy. Nacho P15 ahead of KXI. That guy Draper, Fandango, Leon and MFC Harvey. Those three did not set a lap time then, unfortunately, so looks like we're going to have to make it up for the race. It's a good thing about the sprint race because for the guys starting further down, they've got a chance to claw their way back through the race. So let's see if they can actually get a good sprint race and try and put themselves up for the feature race. Completely forgot it was the sprint qualifying session, but nevertheless we made it, and we're about to head off into the sprint race then. Wonder how these guys will approach it, because obviously the guys further up don't want to risk it too much, knowing they've got a good position, and those guys further down will be risking it to try and get themselves up as high up as possible. So I know some guys will take it cautiously at the sprint race, not pushing too much and risking too much either, because they'll pay a big price for the feature race. But Harry Palmer celebrating in the chat, but I won't do just yet. We'll see how it goes for the sprint race. Got to think about the long-term consequences. No head bump yet, it's just me for tonight, but I didn't even do the introduction, that's how quick the one-shot qualifying went. So welcome back everybody for Tier 3. My name is Jamie Morris, or Indigo, as most of you know me as, and I will be taking you through the Tier 3 action. We were last time out at the Baku Grand Prix, where we saw loads of chaos sprung upon us, especially in the Tier 1 race as well. So looks like there's a bit of chaos in both races, but we're about to wait for the lights then for the Portimoa Grand Prix. Yes, I've still got the cough, by the way, so that hasn't gone. Hopefully it will, because I don't want to be coughing on all of you in the stream, so just be aware that if you do hear me cough, apologies about that. I'm still ill for some reason. It's been quite a long time, but anyways, we'll see what tyres people opted to go for, and that is the medium compound tyres for the feature race, sprint race, sorry. Just for the durability and the guarantee. I don't think you have to make a pit stop in the sprint race, so that's clear to see why they've gone for the medium compound tyres in this race. the softs might not make it. Only 2 people have opted to go on the soft compound tyres. That is Jay Hartnell and Mighty Baguette. But as you can see there, miserable conditions out there, not sunny. Ross in P3 there in the championship, and he's also P3 for the race as well, as Craigo is in P2 and he's 25 points behind the little one. Lost quite a few points in the Baku Grand Prix, did Craigo. Not really, his track is Azerbaijan, whereas the little one claimed victory and scored a whole bunch of points ahead of Craigo. Little one is coming back in this championship, leading it by 25 points. As you can see, Veloci Ayoub has decided to move away from everybody else, but all the drivers then lining up on the grid with MEFC Harvey down there in P20. Let's see what those drivers will do in this sprint race. Fandango, the man who missed the podium unfortunately last week, can he make those positions up in the one-shot qualifying heading into the sprint race? We're about to find out in the next 11 laps then. Remember, these guys at the front can barely afford to make contact here, lose the positions for the feature race. Can't afford to take big risks, where the guys further down will take a big risk, trying to get the best starting position for the sprint race, heading into the feature race then. So we're about to see the lights go out at any time, as there they are then. And we're going to be very shortly away for the Portimoa Grand Prix. And we are underway for the Portimoa Grand Prix for round 8 of the championship. Then looks like Harry Palmer has got a better start as the little one. As we make our way down into turn 1, little one still sticking around the outside. He goes off the track. Could that be a legal overtake, I wonder? As Harry Palmer still has the inside line, but the little one carries more speed and brakes later. But as we're going to see an uphill battle then, as the virtual safety car has ended the battle unfortunately, and the little one is behind Harry Palmer. That is Veloci Ayoub, sorry, my bad, got confused between the 2 Alphas and the Ferrari there, but Veloci Ayoub stays in the lead then, as something further down has happened, as Mighty Baguette has retired from this race unfortunately, so that's his race done until this race is done as we head into the feature race. But what a battle that was between P1 and P2. Veloci Ayoub and Harry Palmer going side by side until Veloci Ayoub managed to get ahead of him before the virtual safety car got ahead. So I wonder that turn 1 incident, did he go off the track and overtake? I'm not quite sure, but the game hasn't registered it, otherwise we'd have got a penalty then. So Harry Palmer then, the better Alfa Romeo of the 2, the little one, his teammate, is in the championship, whereas Harry Palmer there, not really scoring as many points as his teammate, 34 points and in 12th position, but he could have boosted up tonight if he scores decent results in this sprint race and the feature race. Jay Hartnell, however, did not make the use of them soft compound tyres. He's in P8 and he's lost a position towards Gautier Lefellin, as Craigo's lost one as well. And Mighty Baguette, who started the soft compound tyres, has unfortunately out of the race. And here we go then, looks like Harry Palmer's got a better safety car restart than the Veloci Ayoub then, as he tucks into his slipstream then, getting the run on him on this straight as he pulls out to the right hand side and going side by side once again, but Harry Palmer has to back off there. There's no room to go side by side into turn number 1 like there was on the first lap. Little one is right behind Harry Palmer. He outbrakes himself though, there's a little bit of lag involved, hopefully they don't make contact, but Harry Palmer gets the run coming out of turn number 4 there as they go wheel to wheel. Harry Palmer using the ERS to try and get ahead of Veloci Ayoub as we make our way down into turn number 5. Let's see who makes it ahead. Ayoub still sticking around the outside. He gets a better traction. Did they make slight contact? I'm not quite sure. But however, Veloci Ayoub stays. And look at that little one's going down the inside then. But he backs out of it. Don't want to go side by side through this tight uphill section there. Very easy to drop the back end of the car, especially if you claim the inside line, going into a acute angle, as Fandango has unfortunately spun coming out of turn number 1 there. He was on course for a podium last week, but unfortunately looks like it's not his track, but hopefully recover from this feature race. Still got plenty of opportunities to go. Safety car could appear, but Jay Hartnell has dropped into P11 then, so his soft strategy did not work. Did I see an Alfa Romeo go off the track there? I'm not quite sure, but as we end lap 2 then, heading into lap 3, DRS will be enabled then, and looks like Veloci Ayoub then will not be able to pull away from that 1 second gap as Harry Palmer there is still sticking with him, as Deluxie and MUFC Harvey are swapping positions. Godzilla Felon is outside the 1 second range of DRS, and Dragon on Speed will be all over the back of him unless Godzilla Felon can get himself in DRS, which he does do. Midfield battle looking very spicy here as all the cars are bunched together, but how Lutter one is going to go down the inside into turn number 5 there, and the championship leader moves himself up into P2 then ahead of his teammate. But then that battle just cost him a little bit towards Veloci AO, because you can see there the gap was momentarily 1 second and is now. So did that fight between those two just cost him a bit as Harry Palmer goes off the track almost, and Ross now is alongside him and under huge pressure now as we come into Craig Jones' corner, and unfortunately has given another position away, has Harry Palmer. And Mazzles then, will he be able to take advantage of the Alfa Romeo ahead? Looks like he's lost his rhythm just a little bit there, but needs to find it as quickly as he can so he doesn't lose too many positions, especially in this sprint race as well. But the little one then ahead of his teammate, and now looking to battle with Veloci Aob. Veloci Aob showing really good pace here in this sprint race as we head on to lap 4 in this race. 6 laps left to go as Little One sets the fastest lap as he's looking to catch Aob and possibly try and overtake him as well. Mazzles is right behind Harry Palmer as we head into turn number 1. Dragon on Speed has got Gaultier and Fenton. They're going side by side, but Dragon has speed, has the racing line headed into out of turn 1. But look at that then, I think the Aston Martin of Craigo tried going up the inside, but not enough room unfortunately for him. Thankfully they didn't make too much contact, otherwise end plates would have been lost. And Craigo there, will he fancy a move? No, he's too far back for the time being is Craigo, and further behind as you can see, three-way battle going on for P7 there between Gaultier and Dragon on Speed and Ferguson. Dragon on Speed has got past Gaultier and then Ferguson hangs back, doesn't want to make it 3 abreast. Wisely to do so as well because it ends in chaos. I remember a crash here a few seasons ago in Cohen, I think it was, where 3 drivers went 3 abreast and I think 2 of them ended up in the wall. But thankfully that's not repeated itself here tonight as they made it out cleanly, as Little One pointed out in the chat about sportsmanship and racing etiquette of last week's standards. Hopefully he's got better this week as all the drivers have spoken and tried to make it better racing. But the Little One then has reduced that gap now to 6/10 as he's well in DRS range, as Craigo then has overtaken Mazzles, and that's before the DRS. So I think Mazzles made a mistake coming out the final corner there, because it's an unusual place to overtake, and Craigo has moved himself up into P5, and he evidently has made a mistake because they were in DRS range of Harry Palmer before, now they're 1.5 seconds out of it. So I wonder if Mazzles had a moment coming out of that final corner there, which has led to a big gap now, which Craigo has to reduce. That 1.2 second gap as Leon and the Mercedes of MUFC Harvey fighting for P13. Harvey started in last place and now he's up into P13, so good performance there as that guy Draper has picked himself up a 3 second time penalty as Aston Martin in the background has just got off the track there coming out of turn number 5. But rejoins in P7 ahead. Both Aston Martins having a much better race, it seems, than the Baku Grand Prix, where Dragon of Speed was almost 2 laps down. But he finds himself at Little One. It's right at the back of Veloci Aob there. I could see the gap minimising there. As look at that, I think Aob then did he make a mistake in that middle sector, which led Little One, right on the back of Aob then. Could be very careful now, has Aob, because he's well in contention of getting overtaken by Little Yuan, our championship leader. Little One then coming down, heading into the final corner then with the DRS wide open then as we head on to lap 6. No mistakes from here on in for Aob. As you can see there, Ross in the background putting pressure on the Alfa Romeo too. He knows there's a chance of victory here tonight, but it is the sprint race as Ferguson has got past Gaultier and he moves himself up into P8. They both have DRS, but evidently the Red Bull has more straight line speed in comparison to the Haas there. Headed uphill into turn number 4 or 3, one of my most feared corners going up there. It's so easy to lose the back end of the car, especially when you're fighting someone in the dirty air. You can be very careful on traction coming out of there as well. But all top 3 then, you can see him barely separated by 6/10 is the top 3. That's how close they are. As how can Harry Palmer claw his way back towards the top 3. He's got Craigo and Mazzles to deal with, but yeah, he's P4, which is still a good result for him. Spent most of his time this season fighting at the back, unfortunately, or in the midfield, but he finds himself in P4. Very good position for him indeed if he can stay there. He's dropped Craig out of DRS as well. 1 second the gap was, but now it's down to 8:10. So there's yellow flags in the background as that guy Draper has unfortunately dropped it coming out. Where is that in fact? There's an Alpine who's gone off there. I think it's a Williams of the Polish man who's also spun. And KXI then will overtake him. KXI podium sitter in Baku. But in Azerbaijan couldn't quite really get it together. Where his teammate did, and he scored a podium. He did that guy Draper. But lap 7 coming on to a lap 11 and MKP is right behind us. Craigo has overtaken Harry Palmer. Harry Palmer has spun coming out of turn number 2. Didn't take too much inside curb there, which led the back end of the car to unsettle, and it's under huge amounts of pressure as MEFC Harvey has gone for a spin coming out of turn number 1. Then Harry Palmer under huge pressure as Dragon on Speed then takes advantage of the Alfa Romeo. They go side by side now. Oh, Dragon on Speed almost lost it coming out the corners. Both McLarens going side by side there. And Ferguson now takes advantage of Harry Palmer and Dragon on Speed then, so it makes 2 places up. But Harry Palmer there tries to stick it around the outside, and he almost lost the car. He in fact lost the car, but thankfully saved it as Ferguson was the barrier for him. As Harry Palmer now is getting it all wrong. He only had a few laps left to go in this race, but unfortunately he keeps making mistakes here and there, which is costing him dearly. As you can see, the McLaren putting big pressure on the Haas right ahead of him. He's going to go down the inside into turn number 13, but the Haas sticks it around the outside, which have the inside line for the next corner. And I presume the McLaren will try and stick around the outside, as they both know they'll have DRS heading onto the straight, as the Williams of the Polish man has gone for another spin yet again. But this is a very interesting battle going on for the midfield places inside the top 10. Nacho's got past Jay Hartnell. Jay Hartnell looks like he's dropping down the order because he's spun. That's why he's dropping down the order, as MKP has got ahead of Gorty Lefenin then into turn number 1. There's loads of battles going on there. This is what I love about the track. Gorty Lefenin's gone full spin as he clipped the inside curb. That would have been a 10-second time penalty if the car made it towards the road there, but thankfully it wasn't, and he drops a lot of places. I've seen plenty of people do that in the past. He won't be the first or last to do it, but it's hitting the inside curb will kill your race, unfortunately, as Gorty Lefella finds out, and he continues to drop even more places, because I think he's gone for another spin, which he has done, coming out of turn 2, which is a flat out right-hander. But if you hit that inside curb, you are done for, unfortunately. As I think Harry Palmer found out, and Gorty Lefella too. As Craigo moves himself up into P5 now, at the expense of Harry Palmer dropping into P7. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Ironically, it is a sprint race, but you got to think long term as well. Headed into the feature race, can't afford to make mistakes in this sprint race. Be crucial for your feature race as well. As Harry Palmer then still in P7, he got a good start off the line to try and battle with Veloci Ayob as they went side by side to the first few corners of the race, as Veloci Ayob won in that battle in P1 there. But he's under pressure from the second Alfa Romeo of the little one, as Ross there going wide, taking different lines there coming out of turn number 3, as they once again have DRS as we're on lap 9 out of 11. Then 2 more laps to go in this race. I wonder if little one might risk it, fight him, or will he accept P2, as KXI is under pressure from MEFC Harvest. Harry Palmer's on the back of Ferguson. He was so close. I was in 600s just behind Ferguson, but Ferguson stays ahead for the time being, as McLaren and Fandango once again unfortunately lose the car, as MEFC Harvey and KXI still continuing their battle. They're going side by side, but it gets squeezed off the road as Harry Palmer has overtaken Ferguson. So must have got a bad exit coming out of turn number 8 there. Must have dropped it on the gravel, maybe got a bit too wide, carried a bit too much speed, Ferguson, and that's allowed Harry Palmer to go through up into P6 then. And Ferguson could be careful because he's got Dragon on Speed, looks quick here tonight. Massive contrast to his race in Baku. Looks like this track is better for him than Baku. And an Alpine has gone for a spin. Is that Leon? Yes, it is, unfortunate for him. So he's gone for a little spin there, coming out of turn number 13. Another easy place to drop it as well, because the rear end of the car, very easy to lose it on oversteer through there. But little one then putting big pressure on Veloci Ayob, but will it I'm terribly sorry about that. Ferguson still on the back of Harry Palmer, under pressure from Dragon of Speed, as Craigo and Mazzles having their own little battle there for P4. let's have a look at the position changes, shall we? So Little One from P5 up into P2. What a start he had. Ross stayed where he started, and so does Craig as well, P4, so they haven't lost or gained anything. Mazzles, however, is putting pressure on him. He's moved up one place, but Veloci up has gone for a little spin. Coming out of that right-hander, that uphill right-hander, and he's dropped himself into P5. Not to oh, look, what's happened to Haas there, Mazzles? He's just let Veloci off through. Was that because of the yellow flags? If it was, is he having problems, Mazzles? I'm not quite sure, but he did let the Ferrari go for sure. That's cost him big time towards Craig. Craig's up into P3 now in the Aston Martin. So both Aston Martins having a good race here at Portimao. But however, we're coming on towards the last lap of the race then. Little One, for the first time in this race, will not have DRS. And Ross then will be able to make a challenge going into these last few laps. Too far back to make a move into turn number 1, but can he try and set himself up? Nicely cut out of turn number 4 to try and get him down into turn number 5. However, Mazzles then is right behind, or was right behind, Veloci up. But had to back out of it as Ferguson still putting pressure on Harry Palmer. Ross is getting closer towards Little One, but this is his last chance to make a move in this race if he wants to try and get past him, or less, of course, Little One makes a mistake coming out of those high-speed corners. But Harry Palmer's hanging on in there with 3 cars right behind him, ready to pounce. And that's cost Veloci up big time as well. Into P4, could have been starting on pole position or second, depending if Little One got him or not, and now he's down into P4. That's what I mean by making little mistakes in the sprint race, which has big consequences heading into the feature race. But P4, still a lot of chances from there. You know he's got the pace, but a few mistakes then will put you out of the contention. But we have got the feature race heading up our way, as Little One then will make his way across the line to win the sprint race here in Portimao ahead of Ross in P2. Craig will finish in P3 ahead of Veloci up. Our pole position starter in P4, Mazzles in P5. Harry Palmer will take P6, defending from Ferguson, Dragon of Speed, MKP and Deluxey in P10. In fact, Dragon of Speed actually got Ferguson because I think Ferguson had a penalty somewhere. Nacho in P11 with KXI in P12, MFC Harvey P13, Leon P14, Gortilla Felon in P16, that guy Draper and Jay Hartnell in P16 and P17 there. Jay Hartnell starts with the soft compound tyres as that guy Draper has gone for a little spin, and he'll be starting down in P18 then to round off the sprint race. And Little One then is on pole position for this feature race, so let's see how that all pans out for him. Those soft runners are toast. Yeah, those soft runners, those 2 soft runners didn't really capitalise on them and make the use of them. They actually went backwards at the start of the race. One retired and the other one just went backwards ever since the start of the race, unfortunately. But that's the sprint race done and dusted then, as Little One will take pole position ahead of Craig. We're going to be very interested to see how those two will fight. Little One has good starts. He had a really good start off the sprint, off the finish line at the sprint race, but yeah, took pole position, took second place away from Dragon of Speed. Craig in P3 ahead of Veloci up in P4. Mazzles in P5. Good qualifying from him as well. Last 2 races, unfortunate with that internet connection issues here, but hopefully that doesn't happen in this feature race. Harry Palmer from starting P2 into P6. Dragon of Speed in P7, good result for him. MKP in P8 ahead of Deluxe in P9. Ferguson P10, Nacho in P11. And there is the rest of the grid then. Next up is the feature race with a 33 lap race ahead of us. Let's take a little break before the race starts. Waiting for the timer to go down, and we should be ready for the 33-lap race ahead of us in Portimao. So let's see what happens then. Obviously, Portimao was brought in at the 2020 calendar after, obviously, COVID. We had the likes of Imola, Nürburgring returning as well, and Mugello, and 2 races in the same track as well, like Austria and Hungary and Britain. But Portimao then first introduced back in 2020. Obviously the lower categories have raced here before, and it's also a MotoGP track as well. Same layout of course, but down at turn number 5 it's not really, take a different line through there. I think Portimao is on the calendar for the MotoGP. Yeah, I think it is on the calendar for MotoGP race, but unfortunately not in F1. This is a good track for race. I love the undulation and the elevation changes around this track. Proper track this is as well. Track where I think Hamilton has won twice now, back in 2020 and 2021. We didn't have it 2022 last season, did we? So we've had it on 2 previous occasions. I think. But let's have a look at the tyre strategy then before we head off into the race. And no surprise, Haas, but Craigo, however, has gone for the soft compound tyres then. So not my first choice, but let's see how it all pays off at the end. A very early pit stop, I'm reckoning, for Craigo in the Aston Martin. Rest have gone mediums. Highest medium runner is MKP in P8, ahead of Deluxe, Ferguson, Nacho, MEFC Harvey and Polishman. But all 3 tyre compounds being used then. But yeah, I think Craigo might be the better spot of bother because those soft compound tyres will die out. A predicted 2-stop as well for Craigo, unless the safety car comes out, which is a high chance because corners like turn number 4 easy to drop out of as well. Middle sector a part of the lap. Turn number 1, turn 2, as you can see there, it's provided by some people in the sprint race. But we're going to be all set then for the 32-lap race ahead of us in Portimao, and I can't wait to see how the action will unfold here tonight. 100th race for Cohen as well, and let's not forget to mention that as well. I knew I was forgetting something. Hello Daniel, hello McConey, hello Culper, hello Reese, hope you're all doing well. All the drivers then are lined up on the grid then, and we're about to see the action ahead of us. I love the Williams in the background moving there, but thankfully gets into position. There are the lights then, 4, 5 lights. And we are underway for the Portimao Grand Prix then. I think Little One's got a good start off the line then. He's ahead of Ross going into turn number 1. Look at that then. If he goes 3 abreast into turn number 1, I think Ayob took a lot of curve there to avoid them too. But I didn't think Mazzles was on the outside. But look at that then. As we make our way down into turn number 3. Looks like they all got away pretty cleanly, it seems, in the midfield there. Midfield scraps. Craigo is up into P3, stays in P3 after being challenged by Mazzles and Ayob. I think Ayob's lost a place, but there's an AlphaTauri in the background there who's hit the wall, and it looks like that guy Draper as well. Looks like Leon's had a problem down there too. Looks like there's a spin coming out of turn number 1, but yeah, looks like they all got away very clean at the front. Harry Palmer on the back of Veloci Ayob. Veloci Ayob had to take avoided action into turn number 1 there, because if he made the corner, I dare say he would have wiped out Craigo and Mazzles being 3 wide into turn number 1 then, so he had to park his car on the apex to avoid that one for sure. However, what we've got going on down in the midfield here, scrapping away, jockey for position on the first opening lap of this race. But however, the Little One remains in the lead ahead of Ross in P2. Ross and Little One potentially fighting for the championship, as Polishman has joined the session, so unfortunately he has got connection issues. But Craigo then will be very interested, as Veloci Ayob has gone for a spin down somewhere. Where is he? There he is, exit at turn number 14. MKP is up into P5. What a good start from him on the medium compound tyres after starting P8 in this race then. Ross looks like a little challenge going into turn 1 because he's got Craigo right to the back of him. And Craigo will need to capitalise on these soft compound tyres, make use of the grip he has on them right now in the race. We've got more position changes there. Mercedes fighting side by side, going up into turn number 4 then. MEFC Harvey has the outside line on Deluxey as they continue their battle going into turn number 5 then. Which one is late on the brakes? I think it's MEFC Harvey. He taps the back of the Red Bull too for good measure. Will Deluxey stick it around the outside? No, he doesn't. And his teammate Harvey moves himself up into P8 then as Godzilla Felon is down in P19. There's so much going on at the first open lap. It's really hard to keep it out of everybody. That's why I need a co-commentator. But Godzilla Felon then, that guy Draper and Veloci Aob then, misfortunes going out of the first lap. And Veloci Aob is a shame because he had such good pace. You saw it in the sprint race and unfortunately just doesn't have the consistency which matches the race pace. And that's what all the elements of a driver is, race pace consistency. But unfortunately Veloci Aob, it's a shame there. What could he have done? I would love to see him up there with Little One, Ross and Craigo fighting for P1. But mistake after mistake, unfortunately. Got to minimise them. Has Veloci Aob as Harry Palmer sets the fastest lap of the race. Then Craigo tucked in right behind the Alpine driver as we make our way down into turn 1. Mazzles is under pressure from MKP on the medium compound tyres. Oh, Craigo there. He did that the last lap, didn't he? He was so close to the back of the Alpine. Had to apply more brake pressure, it seems, to try not to hit the back of him. Parked himself on the apex there as Ferguson is under pressure from the Red Bull of Mercedes going down the inside. MEFC Harvey then plants the car in the middle of the apex to avoid Ferguson from doing the switchback, but will he try and get him back, I wonder? No, he doesn't. He sticks behind him for the time being then. MEFC Harvey moves himself up into P7 and MEFC Harvey started in P20 at the sprint race. Look where he is now. Has got more position changes then. Craigo has got passed, well, has been passed by Mazzles going into Craig Jones, now into Portimao. Fandango has unfortunately retired in this race. Second retirement in a row unfortunately for him. And yeah, looks like this track is not one of his favourites whatsoever, evidently. Not everyone's favourite, but hopefully he can come back stronger. But look at Mazzles then getting out of shape, coming out of turn number 14. We'll have Craigo right behind him and MKP as well. Does he have DRS, Mazzles? I don't think he does, you know. And Craigo's could be all over the back of him then. And I dare say he'll get him before turn number 1. Yes, he does then. So Mazzles there, vulnerable. Look at Ross then, taking the lead of the race, going side by side into turn number 1 as a safety car. Was that a safety car? I swear I saw a safety car in the background there. Was that a safety car? I'm not quite sure what I was seeing. Hopefully that wasn't just me that saw a safety car come out of the pit lane. But anyways, Little One has overtaken Ross and Craig has overtaken Mazzles for P3. And Harry Palmer is side by side as he goes. Ooh, what's going on here then? Am I in the session? I'm not quite sure what's going on here. And Mazzles, for the 3rd time in a row, looks like he's disconnected from the session once again. And he has, because that's his AI driver, and as you can see. Mazzles, 3rd week in a row, his internet keeps bothering him unfortunately, and that's why you'll see the guys behind then will crawl over the back of him. But yeah, Craigo has been overtaken by Ferguson, and it looks like Craigo has left as well. I'm not quite sure what's going on in this race because a few people looks like they've left the session. Ferguson is up into P2 now as Ross has overtaken Craigo. And how has Ross been overtaken by Ferguson? I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I'm not even in the session, I don't think. This is so confusing because Ferguson has just flown past. Yeah, I think we might need a restart here because this session looks like it's gone a bit, yeah, crazy. Yeah, Craigo will get past Ross into turn number 1. I think we need a restart here because, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Let me leave the session and join back. Yeah, apologies about this. Not quite sure what's going on, if it's just me or other people in the session. I'll have a look at the tier 3 chat, that'll make it easier. See what people are saying in there. Tier 3, hopefully I'm not the only one that's lagged out of the session. No, no one said anything in the chat about lag, so looks like some people have left. I cannot get back in the session, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't join back the session, unfortunately. So one of those guys in tier 3, I don't know, none of them are going to be invited to me because they're racing, but if anybody's in there retired and you're still in the session, please send me an invite. I'm so sorry about this. I can't do anything, unfortunately, guys. I left the session because it was lagging, and looks like the lobby was glitched. But I can't rejoin the session because my invite has expired. So, if anybody's in there who is retired and spectating, try and send me an invite, please. It's not ideal, unfortunately. Neither is this coffee either. I don't know what I could do from here. I don't want to end the stream just in case I receive an invite and pop back in the session. Is there any way for me to get back in there? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, those who just joined the stream, apologies about this. Had a few glitches in that lobby. It looks like some people left. I think Fandango was the lobby host, and that's why as soon as he left, I think that's why everything went to yeah. But anyways, I'm going to go on mute for the time being, and once I get an invite, hopefully we can get going with the race once again. If I'm not too late, of course. I don't think it works that way. I don't think you can join a session without an invite anymore. I don't think it's open. Let me try Dragon on Speed because I'm friends with him. Yeah, it won't let me join through their friends list. I tried 2 people, but it won't let me join. Yeah, it's an invite only session. I don't have an invite, so. Someone at the back, be kindly go to pause and invite me. One of the races I was in, one of the races I was excited to see. Now I can't see it. I'm very sorry about this, by the way. I don't know what I can do from here. Very frustrating, I know it is. Yeah, next time if they have a group session on PS4, I think they should invite me to the group because I only get separate invites because I'm not in that group. So I think it's time for me to be in that group. So if I do go missing, I can get myself back in there. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end the stream. So I'm very sorry once again, and also join me back for tier 1 at 8:30 for the Portimoa Grand Prix. But the stream might continue if I do get an invite, so keep your tabs open and join me back if there is another stream going on after this.